Oh my god! Holy shit. Hey, Seuss! Oh, okay. Welcome back, everybody. Holy shit. Oh my god. How are all of you? It has been a day. Sup, it's Vex. Hi, Vex! Oh, okay. Doing good, boss. Well, I hope you're doing even better, because my finances are shit right now, so I'm going to be streaming a little bit more this week and into next week to try and make up for it, because... Yeah, I've had a bit of a fucking snag. Hi, how's it going? It's going good. It's going good. We're going to play some fucking Ace Attorney tonight. Why? Because I choose to. I like Ace Attorney. I like this series. Even though it's fucking ridiculous. It's stupid as hell. But I love it. Hi, John. Hi, John. How you doing, John? But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to stream around 5 o'clock. I'm going to try to start streaming a little bit longer as well. I'm going to start training for a 9-hour stream. And I'm going to train for a 12-hour subathon. That's the plan thus far. Hi, I made chili burgers. Ooh, that sounds tasty. Also, on Patreon, if you haven't seen it yet, the Imperial Guard video is up. It is ready to go for your viewing pleasure. So, yeah. And then the next Warhammer Army Guide will not be up for a little bit, because I want to work on another project, because Dead Space 2 project is on the back burner right now. Because I want to get used to making these more long-form videos that I did at the end of Christmas, like before Christmas there. But we'll be talking about a game from my childhood called Battalion Wars, which is for the GameCube, which, if you don't know what that is, it was a series based on another series called Famicom Wars. Monty Mole no talk. No, because that's part of the snag. This is the best I can do right now. This is the best I can do right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the best I can do for a 2D VTuber right now. Because I'm broke as fuck. All my... Thanks to situation in my life, all my money got eaten up. Again. Fuck. And I have to wait till the end of the month. So, yeah. Ouch. And please, again, if you're going to donate money, please donate to the Super Chats. It very much helps. Or if you're on Twitch, please donate to, please donate with bits. I appreciate it. If you can't, though, please worry about yourself before you worry about me. You mean more to me than a dollar, okay? Please. But yeah, yeah, so this is how essentially I do 2D VTuber right now. Is that I am just my avatar, like I am in my videos. Whew. But So I'm gonna be streaming a little bit more to make up for it. We'll be doing more Apollo Justice tomorrow and on Saturday. Friday is always reserved for Nuzlocke. I'm sorry, that's just how it's gonna be. But yeah, especially like Imperial Guard video is up on Patreon. It's gonna be up on YouTube tomorrow for membership. And then it'll be fully uploaded on Saturday for your viewing pleasure. And then I'm going to take 2 weeks. Oh, Aramis, thank you so much, bud. I appreciate you so much, bud. Thank you. I was going to lower, shrink chat down just a bit. There we go. There we go. Much better. But yeah, sorry, will you do more superhero class? I love that show. It's not okay, but there are so many topics you could do. Also, who's your favorite Phoenix Wright character? Mine is Simon Keyes or Shelley. Hey, that's great, Nix. So, I don't know if I'll do more superhero class. That just comes to my head when I think about it. I've been so stressed out and dealing with other things in my life that just hasn't been on any radar for me whatsoever right now. I'm glad you love it. I'm so glad you love it. I appreciate it so much. It's just like that kind of content, I have to be in a mood to do it. As for my favorite character, it's gotta be Phoenix. I like Phoenix too much. I know I'm boring, I know I'm pretty basic, but I like Phoenix. Got the money for a down payment, and now it's just for a location. Get a business license, decorations, etc. That is awesome, Nix. Fuck yeah. Alright. What the hell happened last time? So, Apollo and Phoenix's daughter went to a concert for the prosecutor Gavin. There we learn about the very, very talented singing lady that doesn't speak a lick of fucking English.
To society later.
She doesn't speak a lick of fucking English. Son of a bitch. And her interpreter was murdered in her dressing room. And I believe we're still in the investigation for that.
Later.
So, Turnabout Serenade. Backstage murder. If you don't know how this works, essentially I just voice act and go through the game, and I hope you guys, gals, non-binary pals enjoy. Stage. Gavin's dressing room. Let's go to the stage, because we haven't been there. Ooh. In the wings. The stage looks empty. I was hoping to get a chance to talk to Prosecutor Gavin. Oh well, nothing to do but go into the crime scene, I guess. Backstage! Alright, let's get into the crime scene. So, 2 giant holes. Do you know the twist? If so, don't you think the Gramier family is just terrible? What? Don't spoil anything. Oh, it's you. I figure you'd come. You have to let us investigate the scene, please. You're attorneys, no? Shouldn't you wait until you have a client? Matus did tell me to ask the witness, the siren. But his dying breath, no less. Doesn't that count? Glare at me all you want. You'll get no snacks from me. Please? Think of poor Lamoureux. Oh, I suppose. You did find the body with me. Great, let's get to it. Right! Just try not to touch anything. She's letting us look, and she's not munching her snacks. This bodes well. There are clues here, I can feel it. Leave no hanger unhung, no spot unspotted. Examine. Are these bullet holes? Looks like it. There are 2 here in the wall. From the look of it, the victim was shot once in the shoulder. The first shot must have missed. But there are 2 holes. Wouldn't that mean 2 misses? The murder weapon is a .45 caliber revolver. It's very powerful. 45 caliber! Holy fuck! That's a pretty fucking powerful pistol. Where's my boy Gumshoe? Not in this series, sadly. Yes, I played the first 2 investigations. That's how we got here. I believe what we're seeing here is the mark left by the second bullet after it passed through his shoulder. Ouch. Sounds painful. No kidding. I wonder about this murder weapon. Boop. This is the murder weapon, is it? This revolver? That's right. A big .45 caliber revolver. Wow. I wonder who brought this in here. I thought only police were allowed to have one of those. Why are you giving me that look? I didn't do it. No, those are the titles of the 2 Miles Edgeworth games. No, I have not played the Miles Edgeworth games. I didn't. Listen, I was out in the hall eating snacks when it happened. I know! No one here thinks you did it, Emma. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Wait, if the killer brought a revolver, it must mean they had planned this from the start. That's right? Alright. Hold on, chat. We got a new fucking item. Let's take a look. No clues here. With a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. Let's get awfully close. I'm kidding. Yikes! Don't point that thing at me! Don't worry, I'm an old hand with firearms. I have one that shoots bullets. I don't want it shooting any bullets, thanks! Not those bullets, silly. My gun shoots bullets, the magic cat. Cat comes out of a gun. I can tell by your expression you never heard of that trick. It's a great one. Honestly, that one sounds halfway interesting. Jesse! Stop! Do not spoil! Do not open. Why is that open? Look, there's a little window over there. Maybe the killer escaped through that. It's barely big enough to get my head through. Not to mention it only opens a crack. What? I was just saying it's possible. Right. No harm in that. Except I'm pretty sure it's impossible. You could peek into the room through it, though, you know. Oh, you can! Oh. And a gun barrel isn't that big. And that entry point is from behind him. Oh, interesting. That's a body, isn't it? Sure is. The victim, no less. Let's take a closer look. Yeek! Go ahead, Apollo, you first. Me? No, you should go first, Trucy, really. Will you two stop bickering and get over here? She's munching on Snackers again. Hope she's not too annoyed. Yeek! Is that blood? Why don't you examine this one, Apollo? You know more about, red stuff than I do. Yep! Says who? Something is strange about this blood, though. Is that what it looks like? It was very clear that he was trying to write a message. Perfume products? Seeing his mirrors line up like that makes me think I'm really in a dressing room. You are in a dressing room. This must be makeup. I've never heard of most of these brands. Maybe they're Borginian? All I know is they sure don't make for much of a clue. at all these presents. Lemuroir sure is popular. Ooh, I wonder what's inside. We can't open them, can we? Probably not a good idea. You never know what you might find in one of these boxes. Bombs, razors, ransom notes. It could be anything. I'm never having a birthday party again. What an amazing bouquet. I mean, it's giant. Not sure I approve. It'd be better if this flower was a bit more... Oh! The flower fell off! What happened to preserving the crime scene, Emma? It's fine, fine. I'll just put it back, see? How scientific. Ooh, what a pretty brooch. Oh, Emma? You're not gonna say, can I have it, please, are you? Oh. Look, you may be cute little girl, 15, but that doesn't get you any special treatment with me. Oh. It's not healthy to envy the young, Emma. It's not about envy. It's about tampering with evidence. Note to self. Emma lacks a sense of humor. Use caution. You need to learn to respect your elders a little. Something seems so familiar about that brooch. I thought I clicked on that. Get your daddy to buy it for you. Daddy always says, Jersey, if you want some, go find or borrow it. Oh, and when in doubt, beg. Leave it to Mr. Right. I should be concerned about Jersey's future, but I'm more concerned about the owner of that brooch. Alright. Talk. The victim. Mr. Romain Letouce, wasn't it? He was Lemuroir's manager and interpreter, apparently. This was his first time in the country. So I'm guessing he didn't know many people here. It doesn't seem likely. Nor can I think of anyone with a motive to murder him. Except for one person, of course. One person? Who? Lemuroir. No one here might have had a motive, but she's from... What are you talking about? Hey, it was Emma's idea. I said nothing. Always with the snacks. He's a big man. Or was. I don't even think I would win in a fight with him. Which is why whoever it was used a revolver, I'm guessing. We sent a request to the Borginian embassy for more info on him. Well, you and I know more about the crime than anyone. You do? That's true. It was us who found the body. What? I guess that's what I missed for watching the concert. Hey, I wish I was watching the concert. Anything would be better than this. Well, we know the crime took place during the concert. And when we heard the shot and entered the room. The killer was already gone. What? But that doesn't make sense. You came in when you heard the shot and no one was here? How'd they leave the room? That window is a little too small, isn't it? The mystery of the disappearing killer. Maybe we go to Gaviner's dressing room? Yeah! Why is a Colonel Muster with a candelabra in the study? I don't know. Huh, looks like nobody's here. Prosecutor Gav is probably busy with the case, too. No rest for the wicked. No rest for us either, Apollo. Let's get rockin'. Rock, rock! Was that there before? This place is decorated like a high school dance, though I think our decorations were paper, not chains. The Gaviners are into chains. It's part of their image. Huh, no kidding. No one tell Nix. No one tell Nix. No one tell Nix. That's not a vent, that's a speaker. Ever since they used chains on the cover-up art for Gonna Lock You Up. They're really into the whole police thing, aren't they? Hey, boss, it's been a while. Doomday. Hey! They don't have to turn on the red light. That speaker looks familiar. Oh? Yeah, like the one for the PA system back in school. Oh, we have one of those in my classroom, too. That's right, she's still in junior high. I feel old. Someone drew the governor's mark in lipstick here. Lipstick? I'd like to wear lipstick someday. Oh, you don't use lipstick yet, Trucy? Daddy won't let me. Not until I learn to play piano, he says. You'll be waiting a long time then, I'm afraid. What is this game? This is the sequel series to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We are playing as Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Oh, shit, there is a vent. You're right. Fuck. Sorry. Examine the vent. What's wrong? Apollo, your mouth is catching flies. Nothing. It's nothing. Maybe that's how the killer escaped. That's what you're thinking, right? When we arrived on the scene, the killer had already fled. He or she must have had a way out. And that air vent is one possibility. But it's much too small. Not if the killer were about your size, Trucy. I didn't do it! I was cutting up the dance floor at the time, thank you. I know. Of course I didn't think you'd do it. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Why do you have a ladder in here? Huh? Another ladder? Actually, it's technically a step ladder. What are you doing, step bro? Well, hello, Miss Fancy Pants. Please forgive my lack of ladder discrimination. I'm less worried about the step ladder and more worried about why it's there. Why is the ladder there? Well, to climb, right? To reach something on the ceiling? I still say it's a step ladder. Well, maybe we can go back to the stage and talk to somebody. Look at all these electronic devices. I'm guessing they have something to do with the sound. Well, I guess we can fiddle. Let's see here. Don't touch that! A healthy curiosity is the key to a good investigation. When in doubt, fiddle. That's what Daddy always says. Then they should require parental testing, clearly. Piano. Wow, that piano looks much bigger close up. Machi played so beautifully. Yeah, like a real pianist. That's just silly, Apollo. How can you call someone as good as Machi a pianist? Why, that's like throwing him in the same class as Dad. Good thing Mr. Wright didn't hear that one. Son of a bitch. Holy moly. Hi. How you doing? What the fuck do I do? No one is in here. Well, there's a set of keys in the, Sorry, I'm looking up a guide, because, like, fuck this. Oh, there's something in Latusa's left hand. Examine. Yep, it's a body. It's a body, it's a corpse. Let me at it. We gotta examine his hand. What's he got clutched in his hand? Apollo, look at his hand. He's holding on to something. Hey, no touching! You can throw all the snacks at me you'd like, Emma, but sooner or later, you're going to run out of them. You raise a good point. I'm a bit intrigued by this scene. Let's take a look. See there? He's holding on to something. What's this? A keyring? You think it might belong to the killer? Certainly a possibility. What an unusual keyring. What an unusual keys. This could be a vital clue. Let's take a quick look at these. Oh, that's the Gaviner symbol. No, hold on, that's the Gaviner symbol. Buddy! Sort of pin fastener for attaching things to clothes. Not a safety pin type, though. So if it's not a safety pin, is it a danger pin? I suppose if you stuck it in your eye, then yeah, sure. But you could do that with a safety pin, too, for that matter. Thanks for taking the fun out of my danger pin. Oh, you're driving a danger pin through my heart here. So this is the murder weapon. This revolver is incredibly heavy. It's been fired twice. You can still smell the gunpowder. That's odd. What's odd? Oh, nothing. Hey, no fair! Tell us! It's just something about the revolver seems strange. Strange? Can I open her up? What's strange about this gun? The murder weapon. What do you think about this revolver? Well, it's pretty big and heavy. That's right, it's a .45 caliber. That makes it one of the deadliest revolvers around. Even the police don't carry guns this big. Really? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You don't need so much power to kill at such close range. It's overkill. I'm not sure I see the problem. I mean, whenever I go out to eat curry, I order it extra spicy just to be sure it's spicy. Of course, I can only ever eat 1 or 2 bites. And that's not a problem? There's another thing about a gun this big. It puts a lot of strain on the shooter. Strain? Yeah, say if you were to fire this revolver. The recoil would probably dislocate your shoulder. Ouch! It's like the shooter's a victim too. Yet the killer used this revolver and quite well. I'm guessing whoever did it was used to shooting. Used to shooting a high caliber weapon? Well, that's about it. I think we've looked at just about everything there is. I guess you're right. I know how you're feeling. It is hard to know when to stop. But anything more involved has to wait until the squad gets here. I suppose. I'll go report the evidence. Sorry, but could you wait here till I get back? Huh? Actually, we have to... Great! Thanks! She left. What do we do, Apollo? She told us to wait. Great. Now am I supposed to investigate? Ah, well, I guess it can't be helped. Let's go. Huh? Go? Time's a wasting, Apollo. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Well, that's true, but... on second thought, why not? I'm sure everything will be fine. Of course it will. Let's go. We wait for no one. Oh. Yeek! Who's there? We didn't just imagine that, did we? He was wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours? Hardly. Whoever that was, he sure looks suspicious. Okay, I'm supposed to go here now. July 7th in the wings. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Action! You ain't kidding. It's the two leading members of the Gaviners, Apollo. Clavier on vocals and Darien on guitar. They're so cool. I have a hard time thinking of Clavier as anything but a prosecutor, honestly. Huh? What are they arguing about? Probably the case, I'd bet. My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp. And to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was all that about? Hey, man, don't blame me. You were the one who missed the cue. Me? Miss a cue? How could I conceivably get the most important part of that song wrong? How? And what was all that tinny playing of yours? Who you calling tinny? Sounds like they're having a spat. One of those differences in musical direction bands are always splitting up over. This is hardly the time. What are you two doing here? Hiya. We were just discussing the investigation, if you don't mind. Sorry, wait, you were what? Listen, you need to confirm that with the Republic of Borginia, Detective Christened. Right, anything else? What did you just call him? Detective? Greetings. Darian Crescent, Criminal Affairs Division 3. Hello? Criminal Affairs? Apollo, you really don't know anything about the Gaviners, do you? Something tells me that's about to be remedied. What is with that guy's hair? Answer! Anime! Hey, yo, Gavin, these are fucking yours, I think. I was wondering if you knew anything about this. That? Does it look familiar? Familiar? It's mine. That's my keyring. I've been looking all over for it. What? This is yours, Mr. Gavin? I knew it. Apollo! How can you make that I knew it face? This is the keyring that was... Yeah, I know. Thanks anyway. So, where did you find it? Actually, the victim was holding it. Like he was trying to keep it from the killer, even if it meant his life. What? What? The victim? You mean Latouche had my keys? Indeed. When will my trials be over? Speaking of trials, I've never heard Mr. Gavin whine in court like he has been today. Emma was right about the fop, I'll give her that. Apollo! Mr. Gavin, maybe we can help. Tell us about your troubles today. I really don't think that's... Tell us. And we'll keep mum about the rings for now. Are you blackmailing me, Fraulein? About the crime. Which crime do you mean? The murder. What else? Oh, that. For me today has been a hit a parade of crimes, you see. Prosecutor Gavin was singing of blues earlier, wasn't he? Something about his hog and his guitar case? Anyway, I'm afraid you know more about the killing of Mr. Latouche than I do. For now, at least. Huh? You were the one who found the body, yeah? While we were in the middle of a performance, no less. Aren't you going to examine the crime scene, Prosecutor Gavin? I'll leave that to Fraulein, Detective. Wouldn't want to step on her toes. That's not exactly best buddies, are they? Emma and Prosecutor Gavin, I mean. Well, what to do next? We've already checked out the scene. Prosecutor Gavin may be right. We might be the most informed ones for once. Maybe Prosecutor Gavin can shed some light on things we found. Why is he so German? Because they're German. I don't believe you, Apollo. How can you come to his concert and not know about the Gaviners? It's not surprising. Why, even our ancestors knew nothing of America's existence once. I know America exists. The Governors aren't just an average rock band, Apollo. Each member is connected to the police somehow. Oh! So they're pigs! The real police, by day they pack heat, but by night they heat up the stage. By day those lips interrogate, by night they sing songs of unrequited passion. Okay. They debuted 7 years ago with 13 years Hard Time for Love. Then came Love with No Chance of Parole, and My Boyfriend is the prosecution's witness. The list of hits goes on and on. This here's my right-hand man, Darian Crescent. I make the melodies, and he attacks them with his guitar. He's a bit of a rogue, really. And this guy's a bit of a perfectionist. When a performance goes the least bit wrong, he goes into this funk, just like today. I'd hope murder would be a bit more off-putting than a ruined concert. The concert today was a disaster. I'll get to the bottom of this, and we'll see who missed a cue. The missed cue? They were arguing about that before. Great. I love nothing more than questioning a tormented artist. What's the missed cue you keep talking about? You heard it, didn't you? From the audience? Actually, I didn't notice anything. See, no amateur is gonna pick up on that. Can you guarantee an entire audience of amateurs? No. Now take a listen to this. What's that? A mixing board. We used it to record our concert tonight. Aren't we supposed to be investigating a murder? Well, we've come this far, might as well go all the way. I've always wanted to learn about the recording industry. Oh god, is this going to be part of the test? This is but one device used in recordings. We're a 5-party band. This lets us record each member's performance separately. You use the sliders to adjust the volumes for each part. Check it out. Oh, God. Wow, neat. So, could you say hear only the drum part? Of course. That's how we'll find the criminal guilty of missing his cue tonight. I'm more concerned with the other criminal, the one who kills people. You want help on the case, then help me with mine. I guess rock and roll comes before prosecuting. Let's begin. First, we bring up the part of the performance in question. You simply choose the section of the song you wish to hear in the uppermost bar, like so. There it is. Now listen. Was something wrong? You couldn't hear it? Like, listen again closely. Headphones on, kids. The timing's a little off, isn't it? You see? There, right at the most important part. And even an amateur could hear it. An amateur with a mixing board, maybe. You're missing the point. We'll never stamp out crime until we're perfect. Perfect! Here he goes again. Right. Herr Amateur, you will prove my point. Me? You'll find the missed cue. You will tell us which instrument, which part, is the guilty party. But how? Did I not just explain it? Move the sliders with W and S and adjust the volumes for each part. Then you'll find the part that hopelessly bungles the cue with A and D. You'll find it with your untrained amateur ears. Nothing to but try, Apollo. I guess. I'll admit, this looks kind of fun. First, a quick review. Use W and S to adjust the parts of the volume. Jump into the next section of the song with Q and E. And use A and D to switch parts, right? Got it. Once you found the guilty part, press R to point it out. Time to rock. So they said it was here. Okay. Oh! It's this one. There was a fuck up with this one. He went out of tune for a little bit. This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar? It was you, Darren! Ah, well, looks like the cat's out of the bag. Ah, well, that's all you have to say? That kind of attitude lets killers walk free, Darren. Here they go again. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to ask about the concert. I'm starting to feel like we're just wasting time. It's all experience under our belts. That can't be bad. I still can't get over the title for that song. Guilty Love? Hold on. Can I hear anything else in that fucking thing? I'm gonna turn... That's a bit weird. Alright, doesn't look like anything else is wrong with the music here. Alright, what's your troubles, bud? You were saying something about your motorcycle not starting? And something about your guitar case being busted. You're well informed. You mentioned it a few times. It all happened this morning. It's all this keyring's fault. The keyring? It's got all my keys on it, yeah? My bike key, my car key, and the key to my guitar case. Wait, so this keyring... It disappeared. I thought I put it in my jacket pocket. Prosecutor Gavin's keyring disappeared. I had to go to the concert by taxi. How embarrassing. And in order to get my guitar out, I had to break the lock. Wait, this guitar wasn't the one that... The very one up in flames. And right on stage, too. I actually thought that was part of the show. Crazy. And to top it off, Latus's life was taken. Nobody told me about days like these. Strange days indeed. You think? What's wrong, Trucy? Well, I was just trying to make sense of everything. First, this heart-shaped keyring gets stolen. Then a very expensive guitar flares up on stage. Then Mr. Latus dies. Yes, and? Could it all really be just a coincidence? Coincidence? Meaning... Darian, can you make any sense out of all this? Hey, don't look at me. What do you think, Apollo? Huh? I mean, either Mr. Gavin's having a really bad day, or all this was planned. You aren't thinking what I think you're thinking. Are you, Fräulein? I am. What? What? Hey, don't leave me in the dark with Spike here. The name's Apollo, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave us in the dark. What are you talking about? Haven't you noticed a connection, Apollo? A curious connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles today? Yeah! His keys get stolen, his keys are found with the victim, and the person that had his keys had access to his guitar case. And his guitar went up in flames, and that wasn't planned. You know, something was bugging me too. That key ring and the guitar in the body. Slow down there, Polly. You look a wee bit dizzy. He's bluffing. He hasn't figured it out. Fess up if you're a man. You're as clueless as I am. Huh? No, give Herr Forehead a chance. Let's see your evidence on the connection. Shall we? Evidence? I better think of something pronto. Come on, let's see it. What's the connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles? Oh! When you stole away the keys, but it wraps itself around me, and now through the air I fly. Whoa, burning on my heart. Fire burned my love away, all away like a bullet. Oh my god, the events happened with the song. Oh my god! It's this, isn't it? A lyric sheet? The guitar serenade? What's that got to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Though I wouldn't have believed it if Fräulein had it pointed out. What are you talking about, man? Enough with the riddles! Maybe it's a coincidence, or perhaps it means nothing. Don't you think, Fräulein? I do. Everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin today is predicted in the lyrics to this song. What? No way! Look, just think about everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin. Let's list them in order that they occurred, while reading the lyric sheets. First, the keyring was stolen. And not just any keyring, a heart-shaped keyring. That's right here. When you stole away the keys, my heart held on so tight. This is a heart holding keys. And next, his guitar burst into flames. Burning on in my heart, fire burned my love away. And then Mr. Latouche was killed. Like a bullet of love, fire takes my life away. But that's crazy! Yeah, no kidding! So everything that happened today here, this song predicted it all. Or perhaps it was the other way around. Huh? The criminal could have been based their crime on the lyrics. But who could go through all the trouble? Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you stumbled upon something quite vital. And quite annoying, Fräulein. Hee. She looks pleased. The lyrics predicting the crime, Clavier. Seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me. I have to agree. The keyring, the guitar, and the murder. The keyring might have been dropped by accident, yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think it was unconnected. That's true. Prosecutor Gavin's as calm and collected as ever. So the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics. That sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? While we think about that, I'm gonna get cracking on the biggest crime here. I'm gonna talk to the Borginian embassy about this, Mr. Latouche. Alright. Thanks, Durin. I'll leave the ponder the mysteries to you. I'm out of here. A foreign national. Mr. Latouche was killed. Seems like that would have been to the point of all this. But they did more than that. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery. Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today. Maybe this is the real Prosecutor Gavin we don't get to see in the courtroom. I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourselves. Yeah? Yeah! I guess this is all we're gonna get from Prosecutor Gavin. That leaves Lamoureux to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where Lamoureux is now? I had her go to my dressing room. With that pianist, Maki Tobey, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latouse's sudden passing. The Governor's dressing room. Got it. Gavin be stressed. How would you feel if your car keys were found with the victim? Yeek! Who's there? There he goes again. Who is that guy? Jersey? You know, he did look sort of familiar. So he is a friend of yours? No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember. Curiouser and curiouser. She's in his dressing room. Ba-da-doo. Ah, Lamoureux. What's happened? I heard that Mr. Latousse has died. Lamoureux, you speak? I mean, you speak English? Yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Borginia, but I am not Borginia by birth. But wasn't Mr. Latousse your interpreter? Yes, well, it was Mr. Latousse's idea. He thought it would add to the mystery, you see. Then your pianist is also... No, Maki Tobey is Borginian. He does not speak English. Now please tell me, what has happened to Mr. Latousse? Why did he... Actually, Mr. Latousse was... Jersey! Huh? Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said. Not a word. But Mr. Latousse is Lamoureux's manager. That's not fair to her. I mean, isn't she a related party? Precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I suspect. All we have been told is to wait here in this room. It is very unsettling. I'm sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Do you think I could ask some questions? Of course, I'm always willing to help. I'd be pissy too, to be honest. Hi, Nix! Fun fact! Gavin likes chains! Jesus, calm as she looked on stage. Can't put my finger on why, but I like this Lamoureux. What does it mean? What is it, Maki? What? But you'd be alone. What seems to be the problem? Maki, he is not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be alright? Sure, of course. Very well. What is it you wish to ask me about? The Republic of Borginia. That's in Northern Europe, right? I've never heard of it. I started out singing in a restaurant. Then a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am. You don't say! You know, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant. Producers tend to look for talent, Jersey. Lamoureux, you're not from Borginia originally. Were you born there? Born here? Well... Oh, is that supposed to be a secret? Imagine is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Borginian in public. Image is important, I guess. She's not all image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound. A painter in what? She travels the world turning the sights she sees into music. That's the secret to your music's beauty, right? You're very perceptive. Oh, I use your songs all the time in my stage act. I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I? Stop while you're ahead, Trucy! This landscape painter in sound, too, is an image. Yet without it, my songs would not be so widely heard. They even call you the Siren of the Ballad, right? Yes, in Borginian, Lammeror means the siren. I fear that perhaps already I'm not the siren I once was. Your pianist Maki, was it? He's cute, like a porcelain doll. He's very European. I met him while singing in restaurants in Borginian. He is an orphan, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me. It's like a fairy tale, almost. I noticed he hardly leaves your side. Yes, well, he is blind. At first I hesitated at dragging him across the world. He doesn't speak English either, does he? He had never left Borginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Maki and I together are Lammeror together always. Alright. Mr. Latouche was my new manager. New? Yes, from 3 months ago. Around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. Interesting. He was to be my manager and bodyguard, and as it turned out, my interpreter. Maki still has death flags. Ah, yes! He magnetized all these death flags! Interpreter, even though you speak English. Yes, but we are to visit more places than just here. We had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one. Though I fear that may be cancelled now. Was Mr. Latouche from the Republic of Virginia too? Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him, and now I shall never know. No one would ever tell me why he has died. I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin said we weren't to talk to anyone. Mr. Latouche was a talented man. The siren of the ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I'm happy for him that it has become so well known. The siren. That's what he meant. Huh? Apollo? You are the siren, right, Lammeror? That is the meaning of my name in Borginian, yes. It was the name my producer gave me, but why do you ask? It's very important. I had to know for sure if the siren was you. What do you mean important? I'll tell you. You deserve to know. Siren. It turns out that's a very important word in this case. How? When we found Mr. Latouche, he was still alive. What? I heard him say something. His last words. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Yes, witness. Hang in there, Latouche. Tell me, who is the witness? The witness is Siren. He said siren, really? I was the only one there to hear it, but I'm sure that's what he said. Mr. Latouche said what? Ask the witness. And you're the siren, Lammeror. Do you see what happened? Lammeror? Might I ask, are you with the police? Huh? Well, no, I'm a defense attorney. An attorney? Yet there have been no arrests, yes? Is that a problem? Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think. But, Lammeror, I am sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I'm afraid you lack the authority to ask them. Why? If she witnessed the crime, why would she tell us? I believe you're through here. I believe so. Anything different? Look! It's Postcard of Lammeror! What are these letters at the bottom? I've never seen these before. It must be her native tongue, Borginian. A landscape painter in sound. This is how it would translate, roughly. Please take one. Landscape painter in sound. That's a nice image. Let's take a quick look. Oh, shit. No, fuck! No, fuck! I want my court record. Shit. Hey, she's wearing a Borscht here. Little brooch. That reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you? My brooch? Yes. Well, it may be mine. Yours, Lammeror? I mean, she has a point, though! I must have lost it. Well, that explains the brooch we found. It was Lammeror's. Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it. So this brooch belongs to her. That begs the question. Is something wrong, Apollo? What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? Well, we're not going to get anything else out of her, so let's move on. Let me guess, Yellow Man. Well, who's there now? Ah, it's you. Where were you? Emma? Is something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual. You bet something's wrong. The impossible happened. It's all your fault, you know. Oops. Maybe this is about us leaving the crime scene. What do you mean by impossible? Well, it's gone. Utterly gone. What's gone? The body, stupid. What else? Mr. Latusa's body has disappeared. What? What? Chat? The fuck? What? Oh, I see. We moved on from July 7th to July 8th. Ah, Prosecutor Gavin. From your vacant stare, I gather you've heard the news. I heard Mr. Latusa's body's gone missing. Look for yourself. Quite the pickle. Quite the pickle. How can you just stand there? We have to start the investigation. There's no need for alarm, Fräulein Detective. All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building. So I suggest we go find ourselves a Cadabere. Here, there'll be plenty of time to ponder the whys later. Well, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin. Oh, you'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this. How can Mr. Latusa's body just disappear? Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching. Hey, I don't know if this is exactly the right time, but... Yes, Darren? See, Geeter's gone missing. He was in the dressing room. Geeter? Who's Geeter? That's what I call my guitar. You like, man? Your guitar was stolen. This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters. Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds that guitar, please bring it to our dressing room. Geeter's like a missing person, not lost and found, man. Well, this sure is a... What did he call it? A sausage? No, wait, it was a pickle. And it's your pickle! I told you to stay in the room! Sorry, not much else I could say. It's alright. Top priority now is finding that body. You can make it up to me later. 10 bags or so of chocolate snackoon should do the trick. You should watch your sugar intake, Emma. Maybe the vent? Nope, that hasn't changed. I already looked up there. It'll change again if I, Uh... Does something seem different to you, Apollo? Something is definitely different here. Let's check it out! What's different? I'm not sure that's all that important right now. Let's check out that thing in the middle of the stage. What thing in the middle of the stage? You mean the fucking case over there? Or that? That stage there must have been lowered before. That's the tower that Lammeror and the Prosecutor Gavin were singing on. Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about the ladder there against the wall? We could use that to take a look up top. Maybe we should get Emma. What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves. I'm not so good with heights. Stop whining and start climbing. It didn't look that high from below, really, but when we got to the top, I felt every one of those 15 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there. Yeek! We found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find. Why does he have the guitar? The body, guitar in hand, and the pianist, Maki Tobe. What? July 8th, 10:09 a.m. Write Anything Agency. Wow, what a concert last night. Sure went south in a hurry. No kidding. Why did they arrest Maki? Why? Nope, the kid's not dead! Apparently. Don't look at me like it's my fault. Maki Tobe, the blind pianist. Arrested on suspicion of murdering Romain Latouche. I can't believe such a cute little boy could do something so horrible. I guess they have proof of some kind. What proof could possibly have proven that? Morning. Prosecutor Gavin. What a night, eh? I apologize for being so upset. Because he moved the damn body! Did you see the size of that corpse? I doubt that little boy could move that. He's also blind. How did he get there? Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why'd they arrest Maki? Why? Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me, too. We performed together that night, after all, yet... The powers that be say that given the circumstances, it could only have been him. What do you mean by the circumstances? Lammeror was invited by the Virginia as an ambassador of goodwill. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the power that be wants, really. Well, those are circumstances, all right. But what makes Maki the only possible suspect? Herr Forehead, you seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution, the enemy. Ah, right. Ah, hi, husband. I mean, Prosecutor Gavin. Hi, Daddy. Sorry, Daddy. I think I like this side of Prosecutor Gavin better, actually. I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case, especially not to the defense attorney. What did you just say? Me? The defense attorney? That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services. You mean Maki. Maki wants me. This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo. Let's get going. Right. Good luck. I'm off to question Lammeror. Right, later. I hope I'm up to this. Well, I just don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so terrible. You said that already. Yeah, so this kid is blind, apparently. It has to be Sharkman. I don't know. There's not a lot to go on right now. It could be... Like, Lammeror went fucking quiet after, like, I brought up to her, Well, what about the siren? She went fucking quiet. Our boy Shark Boy was off tune. There's a yellow guy running around. Maki, everything's gonna be okay. We're here for you. Hi. Maybe you can tell me about last night. Huh? Well, fuck. That was when I realized how tough it must be. A little kid like this, in a country so far from everything he's ever known. Maybe Lammeror can help? But then Prosecutor Gavin says she was with him. Good luck. I'm off to question Lammeror. Well, what are we gonna do? That's, a good question. I can't think of anything we can do about this. And hope for the best at trial tomorrow. Well, son of a bitch! Alright, turnabout Serenade. Today's the trial! Woo! It's physically impossible for the blind kid to be the killer. Yeah, no, that is real fucking stupid. Like, everyone, please look at me. You see this tall-ass corpse of a heavy man that looks like he's done like 700 fucking tours of duty? How did this frail little blind child get from point A to point B? Either that tiny child is Superman, or something's fucking wrong here.
Court is now in session for... How do I say that?
Maki Tabe, Your Honor. The Pixie Apregio. Apregio.
Right, his trial court is in session.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK here, Judge.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My opening statement, yeah?
No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about.
To Society Laydell?
Yes.
Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them?
Eh?
I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down.
What are you talking about?
Actually, I'm going to visit someone who was terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son.
The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for?
In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly.
You're in luck here, Judge. I believe you'll be going on to your hospital visit sooner than you think. But first, to review the victim in this case. Romain Latouche, age 35, the global manager for Diva Songstress Lammeror. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The man died of blood loss! That tells you how fucking strong this man was. He took a shot from a 45 in the shoulder and only died because he bled out.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Death due to blood loss. Time of death, 9 to 9:30.
45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet.
However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse considering.
2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found on the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. Why isn't there the tiny window there? Did he try to write something in blood? It looks that way, yeah, but I haven't been able to point that out yet.
I see. The court accepts this evidence. If we're talking about a .45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use.
Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body.
The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. The dressing room is only the one entrance, this door.
That does seem to be the case, yes.
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible.
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
One person?
That is, of course, the defendant, Maki Tabe.
Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how?
It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime make it clear.
Very well, I assume you have testimony to back this claim up. Please show the witness to the stand.
Hi, Emma. Your name and profession. Hold on, before we do that, I'm going to review these 3 pieces of new evidence. Time of death, 9/9/30. Blood loss due to 45 caliber round. Currently under review. Son of a bitch! This is under review? That means it's going to get updated later. Blood. Okay. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert for him that night. Emma seems tired somehow.
Security at concert, you say?
Some security I was couldn't even stop a murderer.
Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know.
I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered, and we were able to identify this killer. You may give the court record your testimony. Describe the circumstances of the day, and your discovery of the crime, please. Alright. Wait, how the fuck... Oh! Wait, hold on. It is a 45, so it is possible that it went through his shoulder, went through the wall, and then hit there. Wait, but was there? No, they would have pointed that out. Huh. We'll keep that on the back burner for now. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved in the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it.
It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene.
But that door was the only way out of the room, right? Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Maki did it? Looks like we need a bit more information.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Okay, Emma. What the fuck, girl? I was at security... Okay. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yeah? That's right. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it's only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say, the stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall. conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own.
What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, your keys were in the victim's hand. That makes you a prime suspect.
You can't rock solo out of this one! Would that mean he was shot from behind? It would mean he was shot from behind. Low-level acting in new Etriquinin is waiting for you. He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task.
I see, I can accept that.
Let Gavin cook!
Okay. Please, the testimony.
Only people involved in the concert in some way were allowed backstage. We were let in, though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I get the Fräulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. Gee, great. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. We heard shots! I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos.
Hey, no snacking in court!
And you're sure the shots came from Lamoureux's room? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet. Yeah, thanks. So much. How about Emma? We were right there. Hard to be mistaken about that.
Please either talk or read. Not both at the same time!
Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. I went in the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body.
Rock?
Blaring, yeah.
When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? What, those fucking kids and their rock and roll? Don't they know that it murders Batman's parents?
That's right, when we went to the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. A pipe sound from the stage and the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to Gaviners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I've always had the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime.
If you could hear that music playing.
And then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined the only one that could have done it was the defendant. How could you know something like that? As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent.
Ah!
But that air vent was too small. Who could possibly... Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant?
The pixie of a Prigo fitted up towards the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture. Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, Hair Forehead. And there is another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found quite clearly. The defendant, Maki Tobei's fingerprints. What?
Order! Order!
That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Hair Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our Pixie. What are you looking at me for, Apollo? Hey, I was out whipping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed.
Also, wasn't Maki on stage? No. Him and Lamoureux were off the stage around this time, I think. Sure, with events being he could have been just escaped that way. Yeah, no, they did the performance together, and it was only the one song. And they were in... I don't know where they were.
I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe we've heard enough of them to determine our verdict, even if it wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit.
I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witness. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough.
Can't be over already! Very well, I believe this trial is finished, and the defense has no contradicting evidence.
The prosecution has presented our proof clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it better be clear and plain. Judge, order, boss. I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soda. Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We better come up with something quick. I know. What can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Maki's innocent beyond a doubt. Without that...
Mr. Justice, do you have a contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now.
This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants contradicting proof? I'll be right back. I need to use the washer quick. Alright, I'm back. I'm sorry.
You're in contempt of court.
Oh, no. Yeah, let's call a witness. Prosecutor Gavin, you claimed there was no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I swear it on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, Atraquin My Love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I'm the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Help is on the way.
Can't see.
Hang in there, Latouche. Tell me who was the witness.
The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died.
Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. What do you mean by that? All we know is that Herr Forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself. But it's the truth! He said it! I even told you about it, but apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for? There's no backing out now.
Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
You! Oh, she's 40 years old. Son of a bitch. Final words of the Vic count as admissible evidence in most jurisdictions. Well, let's hit her.
Lamarore.
Recall that Mr. Latouche's last words.
The witness is Siren. The Siren? Ah! He meant the Siren.
That's right, the siren of the ballad, Lamarore. Lamarore was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin.
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamarore to the witness stand.
Lamarore would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
You can speak English.
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good, there is much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. What does she mean? She doesn't know? I, too, thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. She's lying! I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lamarore suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
Lamarore is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Liar! Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As a laud singer Lamarore, she gives a good life. There's little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamarore.
Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness? What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lamarore, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. What did you do? Yet that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Yeah, she's lying! Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy. Ugh!
Now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
As for what I saw nothing. That night I was invited on to sing the stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. What was your brooch doing in the fucking dressing room? Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something could happen, but I wasn't told the details. You son of a bitch. You bitch. What was the brooch doing in the second fucking dress room?
I must say you sound wonderful. Just testify.
Everyone watch her body! I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray to the defense has the sense to admit defeat, and refrain from detaining her longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Lammermoor wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. Oh, I think I know, chat. I think I know. She did go backstage. Because guess what we have? Found backstage. Belongs to her. Bitch. I'm sorry, Lammermoor, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why is that Lammermoor's? She was wearing it for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lammermoor, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night.
What is the meaning of this, Lammermoor? Please explain yourself.
Lammermoor? She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not gonna work here. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment. What?! And think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. Is she really saying all that? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Ah! Is she talking about that? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want to make sure no one comes in, right? What? I looked into the room. Just a glance, mind you. Okay, but that brooch was way too far into the room. So this is when your brooch dropped. That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous! You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Here, forehead. She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So she looked in the crime scene.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice.
Hair forehead shouting, "Who's there?" No doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Ah!
Okay, that's me. My voice is not horrible. I closed the door immediately. What the fuck? That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lammeror, you did look into the room, though, right?
Yes?
Testify as to what you saw.
Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses.
I saw nothing. I'm able to look? Okay, perceive. Where am I looking? What? Oh! What was that?
Gotcha!
She gulped. I saw the movement of her throat. I saw it. There was a bulge when she said body. You may have seen the world, but I've seen your heart. You were flustered during your testimony just now.
I do not understand what it is you are saying. Perhaps this is a joke in your culture? She doesn't seem very flustered to me, Apollo.
Maybe I got that one wrong. I have to look harder. I'll find that weak spot.
What?
No, go back, go back, go back. I didn't hit it. Ah, no. Go back. Back. I saw her throat. I didn't hit it at the right time. Look for the gulp. Look for the bulge.
Gotcha!
There we go. The late Mr. Latus's body, you say?
Yes.
You know something more about Latus's death than you are saying.
What?
I can see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes.
It is true. It was so terrible. After all, why did Mr. Latus have to be shot?
One moment, Lammeror.
Yes?
What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latus have to be shot?
Yes?
She was hiding something. I knew it. Lammeror, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Hey, chat. If you were to say, open this door, what would you see immediately? There's a wall here. You wouldn't be able to see this if you were just peeking in. Sounds like someone is reaching.
Eh? How could that be?
Take this. Lammeror or contradict your own testimony, and I have evidence to prove it. Didn't shoot any fish. Wait, but also how would she know? Tell me, Lammeror, how did you know he had been shot?
Well,
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testify that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latus had been shot. How could you have known?
Yeek!
Lammeror, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope.
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something. I know it. Even the victim said so.
I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
How did you see them? How did you see them? The chart! The fucking chart! How do you see that? The door would block your vision! And not only the door, the wall does too! How? Oh, I'm fucking hitting you with this. You better get the fuck out of my way. I'm about to swing right, and I don't want to hit you with my dick. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature.
A put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, I can't be cool for once. Observe the diagram. Lammeror, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yeah? But they were in the wall. The door is on. You see, assuming you merely glanced in the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes.
Lammeror,
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
I must tell you. I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded. I'm certain it will be in the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouche died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lammeror.
Very well. Lammeror, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Maki. It was a grown person. I know it was.
A grown person, you say? Someone that's not a 15-year-old blind boy? Hmm? Were you letting your boy get drowned for nothing? Oh, we're hitting this.
And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play here, Forehead.
Very well, Hare. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lammeror. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Grown man! Grown man! Fucking expand! A grown person. That's a little vague.
I am so sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice. Look at this diagram. It seems the dressing room was quite cluttered.
It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. I did not just say that. Do I not forget a voice? I do not forget a voice?
Don't you have amnesia?
If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Maki.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense opinion on this testimony?
It's contradictory. Because how would anyone have gotten out of that room? Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamoureux's testimony that rings false. Bravo, Air Forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lamoureux has to be lying.
I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. He does as Herr Forehead says, yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What's next? What next? What's he talking about? Lamoureux, I understand why you would want to protect Maki. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murderer took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. Right, it would be muffled.
What? But I'm sure.
Lamoureux, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense, but my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat less. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say, and the victim named her the siren as the witness? That's right. That's what Mr. Latouche. We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge.
Yes?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamoureux can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Maki's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Donkey. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again. Wait! Let me hear Lamoureux's testimony one last time!
The cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Herr Forehead?
I hope he didn't just miss my only chance.
Fraulein Detective, how far have we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me! I dislike saying the thing twice, and I never repeat a song before an encore.
If you would, Miss Skye.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouche's killer could have escaped was through that air vent of the ceiling.
Yes, there was only one door in the room, and a witness, you, were standing in front of it.
The air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killers is the defendant. A virtuous performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye.
And what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Maki? That was bizarre.
She's right.
Why did Mr. Latusse's body disappear from the room and end up on top of that stage? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation here, Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fraulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved, and how does that lead us to the killer? Jesus Christ, how long does this go on? I believe Maki stole the body because of some song lyrics. He moved the body to match Lemuroy's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Maki practically left his signature at the scene. All this evidence clearly points to the defendant. What signature? Lemuroy's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code, too, did you not? Its code? All the events that day follow the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held on the stage so tightly were stolen. Then, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame on stage, and Mr. Latusse's life was taken by a bullet. The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit I'd forgotten about the song, but there it is now, waiting for me. Grand finale, as if it were. Hey, you know, I was the one who first noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs, but killing?
It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and that's let's go on to the next, the cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing so much singing. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the walls, of course. The bullet holes? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. Okay. Question. How did that tiny child fire a .45?
And that means what exactly?
The dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very, assuming the shooter could properly aim. You can't be serious! Maki, he can't see. That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor of that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
The blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? How the fuck can this kid do any of that? Sure, there are bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why would it dislocate? Why would it dislocate their shoulder?
Exactly. The defendant, Makito Bay, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Haha! Take that, smug prosecution. Apollo.
What?
That bit about Maki being tiny, and the gun throwing off his aim. Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it? Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Ugh! Cripes, I really put my foot in this time! But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, for a line detective.
Very well, the witness will add to their testimony.
Right. How?
Objection!
The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on a thorough examination of the crime scene. Yeah. Apparently not thorough enough. I have a certain piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. What? This is that evidence.
The photograph of the crime scene.
I don't care much for the smirk of Prosecutor Gavin's face. But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you best show us this something. Get your fingers out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah?
Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice.
How... blood, maybe?
Take that!
The contradiction is right here. The smeared bloodstains.
I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I get it! At least, I think I get it. Get what, Fräulein? When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in it but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this. You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer. And that killer tried to rub the name out. What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How'd the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Wait.
Oh my god, you're all fucking stupid. Once he saw what it was.
But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant Maki Tobei is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible. I left for like 20 minutes. What happened? So, okay, so Lamoureux, she saw a man. She didn't see a boy, but they pointed out that the window was closed at the time, so she probably didn't hear him. And essentially she got dismissed. Oh shit. God damn it, ads. Oh no! Ah, fuck.
shit!
Oh no. Fuck. I'll just explain when she gets back.
Please explain to me what this all means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet up until now,
It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are a band of law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't, and he's about to tell us. I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents, but before that, I have a question for the Fräulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tobe is blind? What'd he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course? He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamoureux lead him around by the hand all the time? No way! I have a report here on the defendant, Maki Tobe. According to this, Maki Tobe can see perfectly well. Oh my fucking god! What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Virginians. He could see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Herr Forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fräulein Detective. But that's... Ah! Okay, so, catching you up, Nix. Lamoureux's testimony was basically shoved out, and we're back with the Detective Sky again, and essentially... Jesus Christ. Shit's legally that's withholding evidence from the court. And he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problem with this. But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Ugh! How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off your brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead. Ah! It should be admissible. Yeah, well, we're in the Ace Attorney universe, and your logic is bullshit. I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize! Sorry. That's no way to apologize. He's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
if we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solve this case if it kills me.
But your testimony's already given us enough to convict the victim. The defendant.
Don't say that. What? This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yeah.
We might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it? It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes, we have done those tests yet. Ha! As if I'm going to tell you. The blood stains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in the court now. That's carpet? Right, go for it, Apollo. I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Okay. Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just press space to spray an area. Here, give it a try. He has the entire quarter focused on me. Apollo, your hands are shaking. Ugh, let's do this. Four, 14206. Wow, it really works. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is, if the killer was a robot.
I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. I'm gonna kill somebody. But why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that? Good show for a line detective. Rock on. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you here? Come up to the witness stand. Oh, hi, Darian. Darian, you heard what we need? Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. Not 27.
I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yeah, this number is really that of an Interpol agent.
Oh, wait, I know. But if Maki Tabe is really an undercover Interpol agent. That would be a possibility. A
possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why do Latouche know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darren's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Maki Tabe. What are you talking about? Fräulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word the defendant could in fact see it just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until the last bit. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Maki pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think here, Forehead? Me? Maki Tabe pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. But what's the damn motive? I don't know. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Well, I am playing a video game, so... Know at that moment I heard... Know that the moment I heard the report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There's a reason why Maki Tabe pretended to be blind. But it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness?
I do.
I guess we have evidence? Maki had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means no, it couldn't be. Good show here, Forehead. Seems you thought of something. Ugh, why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. They're a team, right? And this is... sightseeing. Is she blind?
Take that!
That is Lammeror.
Lammeror and Maki Tabe. Recall their relationship. In particular, the unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lammeror and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times.
Yet we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Maki could see. Why they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Maki did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really, it was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lammeror.
What's this? So you mean to say that Lammeror she's...
Yes, Your Honor. Lammeror is blind. What? Okay. Well, this took a turn for the weird.
This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin.
Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. And I see it is not vast in vain this time. He's quite correct.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something? Well, since we have her here... why not ask Lammeror herself? I believe she's still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me! I had no idea she couldn't see. I didn't even imagine it until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lammeror.
Yeah. Like, she would have been able to see the guy clearly through that window. Oh, she should have been able to see him clearly through that window. Oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot. She was looking through the window. How could she not see him? She's blind as a fucking bat. It pains me deeply to call you before us again this way, and yet I must. Please do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes, she really can't see, really. It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie born in the Borginian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are.
Yes, as mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lammeror. No, too, that my memories begin in darkness. The world light has no meaning for Lammeror.
I see.
You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial here for you. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Fuck you, Gavin! Now, Lammeror, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a little bit lost here, Your Honor. I have no memory of the lights. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me, I never imagined something like this would.
She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I like to cross-examine.
But what is there left to ask?
There's one thing in her testimony that bothered me. If her staff knew that she was blind... the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay. There's only one part that bothered me. So let me ask about that, and I'll be happy. Okay. Yeah, why would she be a wit, like... Of course, but no others. Hold the fuck up. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche?
Of course, he was my manager.
So he knew, and that's what's been bugging me.
Is something the matter, Mr. Justice?
I believe I know what is bothering your young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yeah, I was. Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind.
I don't know.
Tisk, tisk. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There is no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more.
The witness siren. We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense.
I remember them well myself. I do. But that statement is not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that. This is the new Ace Attorney? Yes, it is. That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, there, forehead. Try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Urgh! Fuck you, Gavin!
Order! Order!
Recall Lanior's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that.
This is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through the window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots. And the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course.
But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor!
What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in the session here?
We have the results back from the investigation.
The investigation?
Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescent, your report, please.
I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IP XX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity, and a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent? So him being Lamour's manager was just a cover, most likely. There's no other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that .45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number of the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's gotta tie in somehow, you think? Yeah, somehow.
Thanks for looking that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
No problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait!
Lammeror, is something the matter?
That voice just now.
Darian?
Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him.
You weren't saying...
That verse I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darian.
Is this some kind of joke? What? No way! The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state, the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I've never seen that happen before. Of course, not every day that you get an accusation like that one. Lammeror fingering Darian Crescent right in his asshole. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really been his voice Lammeror heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I should keep up with it. Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo! What the fuck is this case? Holy shit! Okay. Okay. We're gonna leave it there until tomorrow. What the fuck, chat? What the fuck? Genuinely, what the fuck? What is going on? What the actual fuck, dude? Curveball! We're getting fucking curveballs, dude! Dude, she's gotta be protecting Maki. I have no fucking idea! What is happening? Jesus Christ! Alright, well, that's the end of today. I will be streaming again tomorrow, around 5 o'clock. So, let me know, guys. Let me know, guys. As Darth Vader once said. What? Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. And hopefully we'll figure this fucking